happens.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's Happening Wednesdays.
What's happening?
On Whatever You Want Music Radio. This is Most, and today we are here with a special guest, star basketball player, point guard, Syracuse University women's basketball team, WNBA draftee, international basketball player. I'm throwing all those labels on there. Alexis Peterson. What's happening, sis?
What's going on with you?
All is well. All is well. I appreciate you taking the time. Like I said, I know you got a lot of things going on, which is always good. So I appreciate you taking the time. But I think this is an interview of interest. You know, you had a lot of fans here in the Syracuse area, but obviously beyond Syracuse and your hometown and that kind of thing. Maybe even beyond that. At least I would think so. But I like to start with all of the simple stuff. So, you know, for the people who don't know, people watched you on TV, they watched you ball, but, you know, they don't get a chance to talk to you. They don't get a chance to chop it up with you. So I like to start with to tell people where you're from, you know, and then why and how you started playing basketball.
I'm from Columbus, Ohio, born and raised. I got into basketball from my aunt when I was 5 years old. I've been playing for 20 years. I don't want to tell my age, but I think that does 20 plus years now. And it's been an incredible career so far. I've been working for a better job.
Yeah, I see. I did my research. I saw, you know, in your high school career, you scored over 2,000 points. You know, I mean, that
was back in the day.
Yeah, I've been doing my day. So it makes sense that you got on the radar. I know one thing I'm interested in. I always ask when I talk to people, you know, I'm sure you had, or at least I would assume, I may be assuming you had, you know, some prospects in terms of colleges who were looking at you. And so I'm interested in that and what made you choose the Ice Box, Syracuse University.
Ice boxes, it's for sure. I chose Syracuse because I was comfortable. And I knew the first time that I stepped on campus, I met with the coaching staff. And I was like, this is like home away from home. I knew I wanted to get out of Ohio, but I didn't want to go too far, and we couldn't come see me play. So Syracuse was the perfect place. And like I said, it became home, and it's still home in some sense.
That's cool. Well, we appreciated you being here. You know, I mean, you did a lot of work when you were here, too. Not to run through your whole joint, but I have to, obviously. Number one in assists, you know, all time at Syracuse University. Number two in free throws. Number two, top scorer in program history at the school. I mean, that's phenomenal. Not to mention making it All-American, you know, and 2016-17 ACC Player of the Year. Yeah, I've been in your business. So talk to us about that, because you know that's a lot of accolades. It's a lot of accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I don't even know what to say. It's a blessing, and it's something that you dream about getting to college, and trying to have that type of career is not something that many people get to accomplish. So I'm grateful for my time in Syracuse, all the lessons and experiences that I had there. It's helped shape me into the woman I am today, and those are moments that I'll never forget.
Yeah, for sure. You know, obviously we can't forget, you know, the guidance of the team to the national championship. You know, and I may be wrong, but I believe that was the first time ever. But I may be wrong. You know, if it wasn't, it felt like the first time ever. You know, but that was a hell of a thing. You know, I mean. Unfortunately, you had that other person from this area went to that other school.
Right.
We ain't gonna say her name because we rock with the orange.
That's right.
Yeah, but that was, first of all, that was a crazy series. You know, crazy game. You know, you guys had a crazy run. Your performance overall as a team that year was nuts. You know, so It really wasn't a surprise. I don't think to many that you made it that far. It was a surprise for the guys that year. The guys kind of scrapped their way there. Kind of got there by mistake. By mistake, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, the ladies basketball team was consistent for the most part, the entire season. And so I'm just interested to know what it was like to play on that stage before we talk about all the other stages. What was it like to find, to get to that dance? Because that's what everybody going to college playing sports want to do.
Right. It was special, and like you said, that's something that doesn't happen often in your 4-year career, being a collegiate athlete. And like you said, that was our first Sweet 16 win. That was our first Final Four, Elite Eight, then finally making it into the national championship. So each step of the way was just kind of more and more surreal. Like, wow, we're really doing this. Wow, we really have a shot. Okay, here we are. We're actually in this thing. So let's win it. Unfortunately, we came up short, but I think what we did for the culture and for the city of Syracuse was huge that year. And we gained a lot of people's respect because no one honestly thought that we would be that far or deserve to make it that far. So we fought through a lot of adversity that year, and I'm sure everyone that was on that roster will never forget that experience and that whole journey getting there and what that was like.
Yeah, it was crazy. Everybody was excited about it, and obviously, women's basketball doesn't get the attention, the respect, at this point, the promotion and the advertising is picking up. I still don't feel it's adequate. But I think obviously it'll get there.
Right.
You wish it'd get there by tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure some of these teams, that women's teams will whoop some of these male teams. That's my opinion. But as I watched the program, you guys did a lot for the program in general. And if it wasn't drawing attention before, it's drawing it now. If it was not drawing fans before, it's drawing it now. This was all based on the work that y'all did, not only, that year, but even prior to that year, during your whole career and the career of some of the other ladies.
Right.
Yeah, it was definitely phenomenal.
Yes, absolutely. Thank
you. Yeah, no doubt. So 1,978 points in the career. That's you. How many points shy were you from being the number one? How many points did the other? I don't even know who that person was. Do you know?
That was Kayla Alexander. I'm not too sure. I want to say maybe 30 or so. Maybe another game or two my senior year, deeper in the tournament. But I mean that's incredible for me just because my freshman year I didn't really get to play.
Yeah.
So I think I played roughly like 10 minutes. So being able to do that in essentially 3 years is just a testament to God and how much I've been blessed and the position He put me in.
Yeah, the play was definitely at another level, which brings me to the discussion on another level. That's surreal, making it to, first of all, being able to play, I think a lot of people coming up in high school, like, I want to play D1 ball, and then you get to a D1 school, you're like, oh, I'm here. But then you get to the D1 school and you perform well, and so that's another feat. Then you go D1 and you make it through all of those levels to get to a national championship, and you're like, wait a minute, so, and that's a feat in itself. But then you made the draft. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Made the draft. Come on, 15 overall. You gotta talk about that moment. I know the nerves sitting there like, somebody gonna call me, or at least early on. But let me hear about that. How was that night for you?
Wow, that was a crazy night. Just watching your dream come true. Literally, like it's like I don't even know how to describe it. Like words really don't do it any justice. But it's a feeling that like comparable to making it to the national championship and everything that you go through with that. It's like this is what I've been working for my entire life up until this point. Blood, sweat, and tears. Sometimes more tears than anything. To get to this moment. So when you finally hear your name get called, it's just like, wow. This is it. This is, what every kid, when you're in the gym and you're 3, 2, 1, and you practicing hearing your name on draft night, this is it. This is what that moment is like. And incredible moment, incredible experience. Something that I wouldn't trade for the world.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think about that kind of thing. I can't imagine what the butterflies are like leading up to your name is called. Because even if people call you on the phone, like, yeah, I'm about to call your name, you still, you're a little uneasy, and like, somebody might call you and and do something else. We watched enough movies about drafts to see how it goes, and watch, NFL, NBA, stuff like that. Things change in a second. So I know it still had to be all the way up until when you actually got the call and like, all right.
I mean, up until that very moment, and it was really like just sitting there in shock, like, that's my name, like, yeah, that's it. So yeah, it was definitely the whole day. I don't think I was able to rest at all. The whole entire day, and just the anticipation was on another level.
Yeah. So you got drafted by the Seattle Storm. What? Yeah, I'm interested to know what was the environment like. Like, was it like being a freshman in college all over again? You know how they treat the rookies. What I mean, is it a welcoming environment? Because a lot of people, most people will never know what it's like to play D1 college sports. Period. Let alone have the opportunity to be drafted to a professional team. They'll never know that.
Right.
They'll never know what those environments are like. Whether they welcome you with open arms or they make you take the trash out. How does that? How was that? What was that like when you arrived to Seattle? And you showed up for the first time. What were the people like?
It was a very chill environment. There was no like rookie hazing or like, oh, you're a rookie, do this or carry my shoes or you got to pick up the balls. Like, it was very relaxed, and I think that's just the type of culture that they have. Is just real chill, get your work done. But being a rookie is almost like you said, being a professional all over again. I mean, being a freshman all over again in college is so much to learn. And I think I found that with each level, even from like WNBA to overseas, it's a completely different game. So you have to be able to adjust and adapt and be willing to learn in order to succeed at that level. So it was a struggle for me at first coming from college. Like, coming off a great senior season, I'm like on this high. And then I get to Seattle and realize like I still have a lot to learn. You know what I'm saying? I still need to continue to get better, and my game needs to continue to evolve in order for me to succeed here in the WNBA and as well as overseas.
Yeah, I was getting to that next. You play overseas, so I saw that. And correct me if I'm wrong. At one point, you was in Israel, and I think as of late, you was in Poland. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got to talk to us about that as well. I know. There's. Some people. I always like to draw the comparisons because I think people like to live almost vicariously through the people they may watch on TV or persons who may be your fans, and oftentimes we have more fans than we know. Right, and so it's true, and so to play ball overseas, whether in Israel, I don't know if you played anywhere else besides there and or Poland. Talk to us about that. I would assume, this is me being the person absent any real information. I go over there. I think if I go over there, it's going to be a serious language barrier. Nobody's going to tell me how to get anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, contrary to what you said, it's actually very Americanized in Israel. Everyone speaks English. Yeah, everyone speaks English. The weather is nice. Israel is probably one of the most relaxed countries that you could ever play in. And I think that's why a lot of rookies coming out, first-year players, they go to Israel because it's so comfortable. You practice once a day, play once a week. It's a lot of Americans out there, so you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm in this country by myself. And then Poland was surprisingly like very Americanized also. Obviously with some subtle differences, but they spoke English. They had meetings in English. The food was great. I think the biggest difference was like in Poland, we practiced twice a day, 2 hours a day. And we played once or twice a week, so the grind was just different physically. Whereas Israel was, like I said, super laid back. We didn't have long travel times to games. Like, we drove ourselves to games because games were like 15, 20 minutes away. Poland, we had like 6 to 10 hour bus rides. So that was an adjustment there. But competitively,
you got to get after it. Like Israel, I would say, is a little bit less competitive compared to Poland. Poland was like a grind. It was a real grind. It's like one of the top leagues in Europe. So I enjoyed my time in Poland. And my team had a great season before, the pandemic came.
Yeah. I was reading about some of that. I was checking out some images from games and trying to get my hands on some footage from games. I found some, obviously, and was just looking at some of the scoring and things you did over there. Very reminiscent of some of the work it appeared to me that you were doing at Syracuse University. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
So Poland is more competitive than Israel. How is Poland compared to the WNBA?
I don't think anything compares to the WNBA, just for the simple fact that it's, I won't say all American because you have players from all over, but that's the best of the best, essentially. But I will say, like, Europe is a different style, and it's a little bit more aggressive, in my opinion, than the WNBA is.
Yeah.
It's like you can go to the basket, get hit upside your head. You may or may not get that call, depending on who's reffing the game, and they let especially they kind of let Americans get beat up a little bit more.
I'm sure
when you come to the country. So I think that's really the biggest difference. But and then obviously like the talent difference of playing in the WNBA, playing with, like I said, the best in the world.
Yeah. I figure they let the Americans get beat up a little bit. It's only so many times I don't mean to sound, or express that expected American arrogance, but we only get beat so many times, so I guess that's one of them.
Exactly.
They figure if they could get away with it, they're gonna get it done.
Oh yeah. They'll let you have it.
Well, I want to express congratulations on what's been a phenomenal career so far, and obviously you got a lot more fire in you in that respect. So always excited and looking forward to seeing more of Alexis Peterson. So, but I also am aware of the fact that there's an organization you started. I see the shirt, nice logo. A Greater Purpose, is that it?
Yes, sir.
A very creative use of the AP, by the way. But go ahead, explain what a greater purpose is.
So like you said, AGP is that's my initials. And in 2018, I decided to create a self brand and find a way to stand for something other than what my given name was, and that's when I came upon A Greater Purpose. So I was able to turn my initials into AGP, and it's a faith-based organization with the goal and the mission to inspire other people to reach their greater purpose and figure out, like, what else am I here on earth to do? I know that I'm more than a basketball player, and I'm a woman, but I'm a Black woman in America who hasn't had it easy. And I know that there's more to life than basketball. So I've been on this, spiritual journey to figure out a way to give back and impact other people's lives. And basketball's just been an avenue to do so.
That's phenomenal, and when people use their asset and whatever they've acquired, through their work to empower other people, it goes without saying the value, that we contribute to society, to our immediate communities and beyond, by helping people realize their place in the scheme of things, which is real hard for people to find.
Right.
And, the struggle in the world today is due to the fact that most people never find it.
Right.
So, a lot of credit and congrats to you for, not only finding one fraction of your purpose, but identifying others, for yourself and being able to create a platform where people can find the same for them.
Thank you.
Very dope. So, Alexis, you got to tell the people where they can find you, follow you, keep track of you, that kind of thing. Social media.
Okay. Definitely. Facebook is just simple. It's just my name, Alexis Peterson. Instagram and Twitter is 3_ Pistol Pete 1. You can follow me on there. I try to stay active. to spread love and positive influences.
That's dope. And so, just so you know, we'll keep our eye on you because we may have to bring you back. As we watch,
Yeah, always.
yeah, as we watch things progress and watch you get more and more, into your, for some people they've done, even like you've done great things, but you're far from done. Even though you're still active, I'm just saying, some people have the drive to do even greater things, and so excited to stand by and watch and see what that might be. So,
thank you
again, Alexis, appreciate you taking the time. I ain't gonna hold you. I see you
Thank
still
you
outside over there, so I don't. Yeah. I don't know if you're still working or what, but yeah, I appreciate it, and we gotta have you back, like I said. Make sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Stay safe over there and keep COVID off your back.
Thank you. You do the same.
All right, you got it. Thanks.
All right.